Hello, callers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Ferran Torres, as it has been reported that the Barca forward is not in Xavi's plans for next season, but does not want to leave no matter what. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Frenkie de Jong, as Barca are still insisting that they are not ruling out a potential sale for the player if push comes to shove. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please, if you haven't subscribed, endeavor to hit the subscribe button, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona's transfer plans for the summer have not hit up top gear owing to the club's inability to offload unwanted players. Even though Ilkay Gundogan and Inigo Martinez have been signed, their registrations cannot take place until their exits. Likewise, more players cannot be brought in until the La Liga champions get rid of some of the dead wood from the squad. One such player who is not in manager Xavi Hernandez's plans, according to Mundo Deportivo, and is up for sale this summer, is Ferran Torres. However, the 23-year-old attacker does not want to leave the club, making things tricky for Barcelona. Torres has been at the club for 18 months but has failed to hit the heights expected after the Catalans invested 55 million euros in his signing from Manchester City. The Spanish international has shown signs of potentials but has not been consistent enough and fell down the pecking order behind Robert Lewandowski, Ousmane Dembele, Rafinha, and Ansu Fati, who is also being linked with an exit. Barcelona thus are keen to get rid of Ferran Torres so that his sale would lower the salary mass and generate revenue, allowing them to register the signings of Vitor Roque. The Blaugrana are also understood to be seeking around 40 million euros for Ferran Torres, and there is interest in his services from the Premier League. Some reports have even suggested that the 23-year-old already has a couple of offers from England, but he is reluctant to accept them as he wishes to stay put at Barcelona. As things stand, Ferran Torres will join the rest of the team for pre-season, and it remains to be seen if the Catalans will be able to convince him to leave the club in the coming weeks. I don't see Ferran Torres as anybody can convince him. Like seriously, it's it's very, in fact, it is very disappointing that most of these players who have been linked with an exit up to now are refusing that they don't want to leave. Everybody wants to claim that he wants to disprove Xavi, he wants to fight for his place and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't think anything will change. Honestly, I don't see anything changing for this. Even if they are back in the best, for pre-season. Also, with the fact that Barca are in desperate need to cash in on players in order to comply with financial fair play, in order to register new signings. I think players that have already been, have been earmarked as players that needs to be sold, they will be sold. Ferran Torres has been a player that have really disappointed majority of Barca fans, and I don't see a reason why he shouldn't be sold. You know, because if he isn't sold, then who should be sold? There are players that up to now Barcelona are still facing difficulties in pushing them out of the club. We know that the summer is still long, but if Barca keep thinking that the time, like there's a lot of time, it might still backfire on us. Right now, the new players that Barca have signed, they are not even registered, and even the contract renewals of certain players like Araujo, players like Marcos Alonso, Inaki Piena, who did sign new contracts last season, those contracts have not been registered in La Liga. So even if La Liga is to start today, they will not be able to play. They will not be able to play. So there's still a lot to be done, a lot of decisions that needs to be taken, that will greatly influence the clubs moving forward in the transfer window. So as it stands, Ferran Torres is still insisting that he doesn't want to leave. Xavi Hernandez has already made it clear that Ferran will not be part of his plans next season. It is very clear. But according to this new report, they are saying that despite that, Ferran Torres is still insisting that he doesn't want to leave Barcelona anytime soon. Because, of course, Ferran Torres knows that even if he leaves Barca, he's not going to any other bigger club. There's no top elite club out there that would like to sign Ferran Torres. After seeing him in poor form since joining Barcelona, Ferran have failed to make an impression. He has greatly failed to make an impression, and he knows that better than anyone. He knows that. And that is why he's just trying to push for a stay. And honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. Barca are going to look for all means in order to convince these players to depart. Players like Ansu Fati as well was linked with an exit, even though in recent weeks we haven't been getting much of any report or any rumors regarding players like Ansu Fati. Because I think personally, I think Barca should give Ansu Fati next season to prove himself. Because if he doesn't work out for Ansu Fati next season, then I think there is no excuse from there. From there now they can sell him. But I think they should just give him a chance. I think Ansu Fati is a naturally talented player. We have seen him, in the past other seasons prior to last season. He can make a difference. You know, he's so prolific. He's so precise. I think apart from him, other players that have been linked with an exit like Eric Garcia, Ferran Torres, you know, players on loan like Clement Lenglet, of course, Nico Gonzalez, Sejino Diaz. Those are some of the players that Barca are strongly considering to sell, even though so far none of them have gone. The only player that have departed Barca have been Samuel Umtiti, who some few days back did mutually terminate his contract with the club. Then moving on to the final story of discussion. Given Barca's current situation, they are keen on offloading players in coming days so as to improve their financial fair play situation by reducing salary mass and generating revenue. Players returning from loan and some of the stars that are not the big parts of Javi's plans have been put up for sale. At the same time, there are some who are regarded as untouchables. As per multiple reports, Frenkie de Jong is one of those players who are counted as untouchable for whom no offers would be entertained. Despite that, journalist Ashraf Ben Ayed is reporting that Barca are not ruling out the possibility of selling the player, even though there have been reassuring statements coming from the club. This update comes after Laporta confirmed that the club had an offer of €100 million for Frenkie de Jong last summer, but they decided against that. He said, "We had an offer for 100 million for Frenkie, and we were right not to accept it. We received offers for Pedri, Ansu, Christensen, De Jong, Araujo, but we think they had to continue. They are the present as well as they are the future." So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.